Hello. Today we are looking at how to increase PPE compliance. To do that, we're going to talk with Joel Solheid. He is a QSSP with over a decade of experience in safety. Within Fastenal, many actually refer to him as Safety Joe. So while we're talking about PPE compliance and ways that we can improve, Joe, I'm going to go right for the jugular here, or at least I think it is. How big of a deal is comfort?
Yeah, it's big. A lot of employees forego wearing PPE because it's uncomfortable, no different than your clothes or your shoes every day. So it's really something that I think a lot of people maybe don't take into consideration when they're sourcing or thinking about changing PPE. Comfort is everything.
I think I've heard from you in the past too, and maybe this was you, that we should involve workers in the selection process. Does that help with certain things? How does that work?
Yeah, it really gives the employees a sense of ownership, right? It gives them power. It makes them feel like if they get to pick it, they're absolutely more likely to wear it. So if they're not involved in the process or they can't be part of that selection committee, they're definitely least likely to wear it or even encourage others to wear it too. PPE is very much a community thing, right? It's a uniform essentially that people go to work with every day. So really important to include the employees in the selection process.
When you said the uniform part, this made me think about the idea that there's a style component. Is that still out there? Is that a thing that they
Yeah,
care about?
yeah, definitely. In countries outside the U.S. more so, but yeah, it really is starting to become maybe unique to a company, or it's starting to become unique to your uniform and your brand. A lot of people have seen it in construction for years with specific vests or hard hats or things that have their company logo on them. Now they're really going outside of that as far as the different types of PP they wear within the facility, the color of it, and a lot of the different features and things people are asking for that maybe in the past they wouldn't have.
I feel like I'd be crazy not to ask about this, but how can vending machines help with PPE compliance?
Yeah, absolutely. So a big part of vending really revolves around the data and the visibility, right? Making it readily available at the point of use, so someone doesn't have to walk halfway across the facility or the job site to be able to get it. Making sure you don't stock your folks out of PPE because let's face it, if you don't have PPE, you can't wear it, right? And then obviously having the right PPE within the machine, being able to set up controls so that the right people are wearing the right PPE and not the other way around, right? They may not even have the ability if you set up the machine the right way to wear the wrong PPE or vend the wrong PPE. So it really just takes a lot of that. We'll call that human error element out of it, or I don't know what I need out of it, and it really makes it simple and easy for everyone, especially new employees.
For a lot of employers, I feel like the biggest cost, maybe the single largest expense that they have, is hand protection. When you think about that, how important is proper training, and what does that training even look like?
Yeah, so OSHA will always tell you you have to train your workers on how to use the PPE properly and when PPE is actually necessary. When you change PPE or you decide to move to something different, you also have to provide training, right? And in terms of hand protection, the specific category you talked about, there's a lot of innovation happening in this category. Gloves are becoming thinner and more protective. There's new standards coming out for things like back of the hand protection, and ultimately it just leads to a more comfortable, right? We talked about that earlier, and better performing product. And it's happening so rapidly that we're seeing that change happen within our customers and within organizations, really more than you probably ever would have in the past. It may not have changed outside of a couple years in terms of what you're using, but now because it makes your team more productive, because it makes your people there just feel better, right? Something new and different. It really comes down to keeping up with everything that's going on and training your people at the same time. And there are also limitations of PP too that we have to keep in mind. There are hazards that exist in the workplace that you really need to be trained on, and when changes happen within the facility or on the manufacturing floor, you have to continue to retrain your employees. Training is also a really big part of it because you have to help your employees understand why it's even needed. Why are we changing, right? What is the reason for it? And then really talk about the facts. Because in so many cases, a lot of hand injuries occur because someone simply just wasn't wearing a glove. And again, it could go back to comfort. It could be they maybe weren't trained properly on how to use it, when to use it, right? Kind of what I talked about before.
Right.
So training is absolutely everything in a evolving and changing market with hand protection. But yeah, great point.
To me, I feel like the idea of not wearing the hand protection keeps popping up because of the comfort, because of the I don't even want to put it on. Is there anything, I'm just kind of ambushing you here, but is there anything off the top of your head that you can think of that people that we haven't talked about already should be trying?
Yeah, I think the key is to try a lot of different things, right? We encourage when you're looking at a potential change or you're looking at doing something different with PP, conduct a trial, right? Gain feedback from the employees, document it, and let the data do the talking for you, right? The employee feedback and the data will tell you everything you need to know. And do it anonymously too. A lot of employees don't really like to put their name on things, but they're very willing to give their feedback. So have a non-biased third party, if you will, come in and help you with that, right? That can be really helpful when going through a process or a change like that.
If you had to sum up everything that we've been talking about and offer a few key takeaways, what do you think we need to be thinking about? Are there questions that people can be asking themselves? What do you got for us?
Yeah, I'd have a couple questions you really need to ask yourself when you're looking to make a change or looking to help increase compliance with PPE. And it's really, do the products you provide your employees protect against the hazards that exist in the workplace? When was the last time you might have conducted a JHA or a JSA for the application or hazard? When was the last time you asked the manufacturer distributor partners you have for new and different and innovative products compared to what you're using today? Are the products that you provide your employees comfortable? Really simple, right? When's the last time you've spoken to them about the fit, form, and function of their PP? And lastly, are you relying on visual compliance only, or do you have a process or technology platform that allows you to monitor whether or not your employees are wearing that correct PPE? It's something I didn't mention in the vending conversation, but something that definitely can be mentioned there. Those are really the keys to me when it comes to PPE compliance.
So, the very last one is an idea about monitoring via vending. Are there like a couple of key takeaways for that nugget, that thought? Because that seems interesting to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of the customers that have used vending in the past look at it as a way to know that Joe vended his eyewear, his gloves, and his vest at a certain point of time. They use it to measure how long those products last. And again, they have that virtual record of, I know Joe vended this pair of gloves or this pair of safety glasses or whatever it might be, instead of just relying on that employee to know when they have to do that, right? Or to basically take that human error out of it, right? The vending technology and the reporting allows you to prove that that person at least took the PP, whether they chose to wear it or not. Obviously, is their choice, but you have a digital record of how often that employee was replacing the PP. And again, you can create standards and SOPs around all of that. Through the vending platform. So it becomes a really effective tool in, a lot of times, kind of going back to an earlier conversation, the training piece, right? If Bob and Joe do the exact same process, but Joe is replacing his gloves at half the rate. Maybe we need to encourage Joe to say, "Hey, we know your PPE gets worn out based on the process that you use. We want you and encourage you to vend that PPE, and you can notice some trends. Maybe again without looking over someone's shoulder or playing Big Brother there."
So, I have arguably the most important question. You can only do one of these for the rest of your life: ice fishing or golf, Joe?
Ooh, golf all the way.
Wow, that no
Golf.
delay, no
Yeah,
delay
golf for
whatsoever.
sure. I
Okay,
mean, ice fishing year round requires you to live in a pretty cold state.
that's
Not that
true.
Minnesota isn't, but yeah, I definitely take golf.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Joe, this was good. Thank you for your time. Thanks for telling us about PPE compliance. Thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thanks, Kurt. Appreciate it.